When we think of viruses like rabies, we often think of something dangerous that enters the body quietly. There are no immediate symptoms. You might feel fine at first, but as the virus spreads, it gradually takes over the nervous system, reaching the brain, and when that happens, it's too late. You're no longer in control. Narcissism works in a similar way. It sneaks up on you. At first, the narcissist may seem charming, even helpful, as they get what they want from you without you realizing it. But as time passes, their true nature comes out. The longer you stay with them, the deeper they embed themselves into your life, draining your energy and breaking down your sense of self-worth. By the time you realize what's happening, it can feel like it's too late. However, just as the rabies virus eventually overpowers its host, narcissism works in a similar way for the narcissists themselves. They don't escape their own behavior. As they age, their defenses weaken, and the world begins to see the real person they've been hiding behind the mask. Their charm fades, their manipulative tactics stop working, and they're left with nothing but the wreckage they've created around them. In today's episode, we're going to talk about 5 things that happen to a narcissist as they age, and how their own behavior eventually turns against them. If you're ready to dive deeper into this topic, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as your support helps spread awareness about narcissistic abuse and how we can help those affected by it. 1. They end up lonely and suffering. Narcissists spend their entire lives taking from others, whether it's attention, admiration, or control. They manipulate and use people to fulfill their own needs, without considering the emotional toll they inflict. Over time, this behavior isolates them from the world, even though they may not realize it right away. They push people away, but they assume they'll always be able to find new sources of supply. But as they grow older, that becomes harder and harder to do. You see, as their younger years, narcissists are often very charming. They know how to draw people in with their charisma, creating a false sense of closeness. But this doesn't last forever. As they age, the cracks in their facade become more apparent. Their manipulative behavior, which they were able to hide so well in their youth, becomes less effective. People begin to see through the charm and manipulation. When narcissists reach old age, they are often left with very few, if any, close relationships. Their controlling and manipulative tendencies have driven away family, friends, and even acquaintances. What's left is a life of isolation. The very people they used to control and dominate want nothing to do with them anymore. This loneliness is deeply painful for the narcissist, but instead of reflecting on their behavior, they often double down on it. I've witnessed this firsthand with my grandfather, who was a malignant narcissist. In his younger days, he had a strong grip on everyone in the family. He manipulated his children, controlled his wife, and made everyone's life miserable. But as he aged, his health deteriorated, and so did his power over others. His own children, including my mother, who had suffered for years, eventually began to pray for his death. The person who once controlled everything was now completely alone. It's tragic to see someone live their life this way, but it's also a consequence of their actions. Narcissists believe they're invincible, but they can't escape the reality that they've built around themselves. As they age, they often become bitter, resentful, and desperate for attention, anything to fill the emptiness inside. But at this point, most people in their lives have already walked away. The irony here is that the very thing they crave attention and admiration is what they lose. They spent their whole lives using others to get what they want, but in the end, no one wants to be around them. Even caregivers, who are paid to take care of them, struggle with their difficult behavior. Narcissists become so unbearable that everyone around them eventually reaches their breaking point. 2. They become filled with hatred and jealousy. As narcissists age, they don't accept it gracefully. They don't see aging as a natural part of life. Instead, they view it as an injustice, as if they've been cursed with something they don't deserve. In their minds, they should be exempt from the challenges of getting older. Default text, whether it's losing their physical strength, experiencing health problems, or seeing others surpass them in life. One of the most common things narcissists experience in old age is jealousy of the very people they once manipulated. This includes their own children, their friends, or anyone younger than them. I experienced this with my own father, who started to become jealous of me as he got older. As he lost his physical strength and his health declined, he became bitter and resentful towards me, even though I had done nothing to provoke it. This kind of jealousy is deeply ingrained in narcissists because they can't stand the idea of others being better off than them. In their minds, they are superior to everyone else, and seeing others thrive while they decline is unbearable. Instead of embracing the wisdom that comes with age or finding peace in the later stages of life, they become consumed by envy. It's their way of projecting their own insecurities onto others. They pick fights over minor issues, stir up tension, and constantly criticize those around them. Their bitterness makes them increasingly difficult to be around, which only pushes people further away. They can't hide their hatred anymore. It spills out into every interaction, and people quickly grow tired of their toxic behavior. While most older people mellow out and become more compassionate, narcissists go in the opposite direction. They become more hostile, more aggressive, and more determined to bring others down to their level. This is why, in many cases, narcissists end up completely alone in their later years. They have alienated everyone around them, and their jealousy and hatred only make things worse. 3. They become extremely paranoid. Paranoia is a common trait among narcissists, and it tends to get worse as they age. In their younger years, narcissists are often able to mask their paranoia by appearing confident and in control. But as they lose their power and influence over others, their paranoia becomes more visible. Older narcissists often believe that everyone is out to get them. They may accuse family members, friends, or even caregivers of trying to take advantage of them or steal their money. They see conspiracies everywhere, even when there's no evidence to support their claims. This paranoia isn't based on reality, but on their own fear of losing control. I've seen this happen with older narcissists who turn against the very people who are trying to help them. You could be the only person taking care of them, and they'll still accuse you of having some hidden agenda. They might say things like, "You're just waiting for me to die so you can take my money," or "You're only being nice to me because you want something." This behavior is incredibly frustrating for those who are trying to support them. No matter how much you try to prove that your intentions are genuine, the narcissist will always find a reason to doubt you. It's a reflection of their own lack of trust in others, as well as their inability to form genuine, healthy relationships. As their paranoia grows, narcissists often become more isolated. They shut out the few people who are still willing to put up with them, and they create a world in which everyone is an enemy. This only deepens their loneliness and suffering, but they refuse to acknowledge that their own behavior is the cause. 4. They lose patience easily. Narcissists are known for their impatience, but they're usually able to hide it when they're younger. They know that lashing out or acting entitled won't always get them what they want, so they learn to keep their frustrations under wraps, at least temporarily. But as they age, their ability to control themselves weakens. Older narcissists often become incredibly impatient. They expect others to cater to their needs immediately, and they don't tolerate any delays or inconveniences. Whether it's waiting in line at the store, dealing with the doctor's appointment, or interacting with the caregiver, they expect everything to revolve around them. This